Hello, K.Jolie Crochet Basics Preview Vlog. So this is number 71. So last week I was talking about the candle and I said, I'm going to try one last time and stuff like that. So I did. And not bad. Looks more like the character, this time around. And it like kind of bothers me a little bit that I had done this type of shaping and with the face patches and all this kind of thing. I did this back in July, but it didn't look right. Like I didn't do it the way that I did it this time. So I think that made me happy. Like, that I was actually scrolling through my pictures and I looked back and I saw boots that, from Dora the Explorer that I had been working on before I even started doing these vlogs. I think I did boots. And I said, oh, I could do it that way, and so I said, perfect. And that's, that's how I chose and stuff like that. So I still have bits and bobs inside. I'm still working on the tail. I know exactly how I'm going to do it. And really just working on a little bit of the sizing on it, like the body shape and stuff like that, and the belly patch and everything like that. And one thing with these characters that popped into my head, the ones that I've done the like embroidery on, like Barry, and like Kiff is an either or. It's just a tooth, so as long as you get the eyebrows okay, and the little lashes, you're good and everything. But like I always think like Barry looks so sad, and because of the way I did him, I just think like, I like every time I do them, I always end up cutting out the threading and then redoing it. Even with glarbin, the first glarbin I did, I said, it didn't look right. The mouth didn't look right and stuff like that. So, like, of course I did this one last night and I got all the thread through and everything. I did the lashes and the eyebrows and stuff and whatever after I did the nose, and I was getting ready to do mouth and everything. And then I was like, no, this looks terrible. I was like, the eyebrows looked angry and not right and stuff like that. So I ended up, cutting it and pulling out with the needle and stuff like that to redo the face. So, which happens a lot. I'm just like, I'll get the character down and I'm like, yeah, I got the character and everything. And then once I go to sew on the face, I know how it should look, but because it's crochet, it's not like going through fabric, you're going through thick, bulky stitches trying to pull the thread through, or the yarn through or whatever it is, and then especially it's usually stuffed by the time you're doing that. And it's always a struggle, and I keep a pair of pliers in my little bag of tricks with my crochet hooks and stuff like that, so that if I can't get a needle through, and I've said this before, and I'm telling you, get a pair of pliers, like, if you do this kind of thing, it's worth having a pair of pliers with your crochet and your yarn needles and stuff like that to push to get the needle through the stuffing and everything like that. And then really I think that's like where I'm at. I'm pretty happy with the way it's going. I'll have it done after this weekend. I'll have it done. Today's Friday the 13th again. So, and I'm just like looking forward to like, the sunshine and sitting outside and all that kind of thing and whatever, like spring and all of that after all this winter junk and all the snow we got and all this kind of crazy and everything. But optimistic that it's gonna come out the way, I really want it to and work out this and really look like the character, So, and then I guess that's about it. I think that's where I'm at this week. Just happy that, the candle is coming together and everything like that. So, I guess I'll end off here because I don't really have much more to say. Just, I find it like crazy that every time Every time. It doesn't matter. I always end up cutting out the piece and, you know, cutting the threading out and redoing the face. And with that, I'm going to say thank you so much for watching, as always. Happy hooking, because it keeps you off the streets and it keeps you out of trouble. And I'll be back real soon with my next tutorial. I will have some more assembling videos coming out and some more patterns. And I'll be back real soon. So, K.Jolie Crochet Basics, preview vlog number 71. Have a super great day. Ciao.